If Gordon Ramsay told me to jump off a bridge, I'll do it.
I'll try to recreate this dessert from Black Butler.
If you were a German child, would you approve? I feel privileged right now, which is a first in my life. This is what the face I hope I'm making at the end of this.
Oh, here we go again.
Today, we will be trying to recreate the Rote Grütze dish from Black Butler. I've always been intrigued by the dishes the series showcases at times, and they always look yummy, but I wasn't too confident in my skills to recreate them. For some reason, I decided the berry pudding dish from Germany was something I could recreate, but I didn't just want to recreate the berry pudding, I wanted to recreate the whole platter Sebastian prepares for Sieglin to the best of my abilities. So here was my plan going into this. Here's the plan. This is so dumb. Alright, so I know what this is. We know this is the Rote Grütze. So I'm like, okay, that, just find a recipe online, copy it, all good. This thing over here looks like a chocolate cake of some sort to me, so I was trying to think, is there a specific chocolate cake I should reference or try to recreate, but I couldn't think of any, so I looked up maybe if there's any German chocolate cakes of some sorts, and I found that there is Black Forest cake. So I will recreate a Black Forest cake without the, I believe it has alcohol in it. So it's not going to have the alcohol in it, sadly. So I'm just going to make a Black Forest cake itself. And for the layering between the cake, we're going to add chocolate ganache for that. Make it a little fancy. Chocolate ganache is not fancy at all. It sounds fancy because of ganache, but oh well, I'm gonna make it because I like chocolate. Now, these guys down here, I do not have any idea what they could be. I tried searching to see if there's any like German cookie I could reference, but I couldn't find any that looked similar to this. So I was like, okay, let's see if I can find like an English cookie or a British cookie in general that this could be. And I still don't know what it could be. So I decided, sure, I'm just gonna make shortbread cookies. They're Scottish. These don't look like shortbread cookies. Well, at least not the traditional ones that I've seen online, but this is the closest cookie I could get. So we're gonna make shortbread cookies for these guys. And of course, because there's whipped cream here, I can make whipped cream. Whipped cream is very easy to make, so I can easily make that. No problem at all. I did decide, I didn't mind the garnish, like the extra berries, the chocolate, and this random, I think it's an orange. Orange makes sense, orange and chocolate goes good together, but I decided no mint. I'm poor, I can't afford mint, and also I think mint garnish makes no sense to me, at least me personally, so I'm not gonna make mint garnish. I'm just gonna completely get rid of that. But everything else, I'm gonna try to recreate to my best of my abilities. And once it's all complete, it's gonna be good. At least I hope so. This is what the face I hope I'm making at the end of this, but we will see what will happen. And like usual, let us go into detail about how each portion of this dish was made. Let me start by going through the process to make the shortbread cookies. Now, cookies are what I consider to be my arch nemesis in a way. I always overbake my cookies without fail, so I could only hope I could get the timing right with my finicky oven. The cookie dough was fairly simple to make, but it is quite easy to mess up during certain parts. To make our cookies, we start by using our stand mixer and beating the butter and vanilla extract until creamed. The butter needs to be room temperature at this point, so try not to keep it too hot, like I probably accidentally did. Next, add your flour. This is where things got scary for me. The fat content should be higher than the flour content in these cookies, so worry I might have added a teensy more flour than needed as my dough is quite crumbly at this stage. I continued to mix my dough anyway, and it eventually becomes more dough-like, as in it sticks together more, but it was still slightly crumbly. I was afraid of overmixing my dough because I didn't want it to become glutinous, as that can sometimes result in chewy cookies, so I plopped my dough down and began to shape it into a block. I was still worried about my cookie dough here because if I spread the block too thin, I could sometimes see cracks in it. I tried to find solutions online to fix this, but most resources told me I probably added more flour than I needed, so I stopped where I was and wrapped my dough in plastic wrap, let it chill in my refrigerator overnight, and then went on to bake my cookies the next day. The next day I took my dough out of the fridge, then sliced my dough into 1/2 inch thick slices. I then placed these guys in the oven to bake. I left them in the oven to bake for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit before taking them out to rest, and ta-da! I had cookies. I tried one right away and they were rather dry and tasteless. I still believe I needed less flour, but they still had that cookie texture and snap to them, so I wasn't too upset. Our cookies are ready, so let's move on to making our Black Forest cake. First, we whisk our egg and sugar together until it looks well mixed. Then you add oil and whisk again to combine everything. It should look like a pale yellow at this stage. In a separate bowl, we mix our dry ingredients, which is AP flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cocoa powder, and coffee powder. A helpful tip I learned a while back: coffee powder actually helps enhance the chocolate flavor, so never question when your recipe tells you to add coffee powder. Now we will add our dry ingredients with our egg mixture we mixed prior. You want to carefully fold the ingredients together with a rubber spatula, not mix. This helps keep the airiness of the eggs in the cake batter, which will end up helping keep your cake from becoming dense. Cocoa powder is quite a dry ingredient, so I added water to the batter as suggested by the recipe. I kept folding my cake batter until it looked nice and liquidy when you let it drip from the rubber spatula. This means your cake will be nice and moist once baked. Let's add the cake batter to a 6-inch cake pan and bake it for 350 degrees for 35 minutes. Now we have our baked cake and we had to build our rectangular cake to match the reference image. I sliced the cake into a rectangular shape and then divided the 6-inch tall cake into different layers. The next thing we have to do now is to make frosting or chocolate icing for a mini cake. I opted for making a chocolate ganache. And chocolate ganache is very simple to make. First, you finely chop your baking chocolate bars. And trust me when I say you have to finely chop the baking chocolate because it will otherwise not melt. I have experience making bad chocolate ganache, so I can speak from experience. Anyway, we have our chocolate finely chopped, so now we can heat our heavy whipping cream. To heat up your heavy whipping cream, bring it to a simmer on medium heat. Once you have your simmering heavy whipping cream, pour this over your chocolate in the heat-proof bowl. Now slowly stir your mixture. Your chocolate ganache will slowly form before your eyes. It just takes a bit of stirring and patience. And there we have it. The chocolate ganache is ready. I let my ganache sit for a bit to cool before bringing it over to the table to finish making our chocolate cake. I then carefully layered my cake slices with chocolate ganache in between to make the cake. I finished the cake with some ganache on top and did my best to smooth it out. And ta-da! Our cake is also complete. So now we have our cookies and we have our cake. Now it is time to make the main part of the dessert platter, the Rote Grütze. I've never heard of this dessert prior to seeing it in Black Butler, nor have I tried making a German dessert before, so I was nervous going into it. This dessert looked yummy, so I wanted to do it justice, and let's see how I did. First thing I did was pour the berry juice I bought into a saucepan along with sugar and vanilla. I let this come to a simmer and stirring occasionally to dissolve the sugar. While this was going on, I was also simultaneously making a cornstarch slurry, so everything was happening too fast. My smooth brain was a little overwhelmed, I will admit. Let's calm down while I go into detail about the cornstarch slurry. For my research, it is recommended to make a cornstarch slurry before adding it to a liquid, as it can prevent clumping. This is especially helpful with hot liquids. Some science stuff occurs where direct cornstarch can gelatinize quickly and doesn't allow your liquid to thicken properly. So if your recipe calls for a cornstarch slurry of some sort, follow it. Anyway, I added a teensy bit of my berry juice to my cornstarch to make my slurry. I mixed the cornstarch mix until it was well combined. My juice mixture quickly came to a simmer, so I added my cornstarch slurry and mixed it all together. I also added my berries to simmering mixture. Now, you use the berries of your choosing. From what I had found online, Rote Grütze is traditionally made by using different sorts of red berries, but I added blueberries and blackberries in mine because of what I was referencing, but also because I opted to use a frozen bag of mixed berries. Berries are expensive when buying them individually, so I had to make do with frozen ones. I removed my berry mixture from the heat and let it cool for a few moments before taking it to the refrigerator to cool completely. You can serve this dish warm, but I personally wanted it cool. While my Rote Grütze cools in my fridge, I quickly mixed up some whipping cream to add to the final dish. Alright, all of our pieces have been gathered, and just like Exodia, it is time to put all of these together and serve our dish. For your viewing pleasure, let me present to you a montage of me making a dessert platter. This is the first time I'm putting effort into the presentation, so let me have this moment with some music. Alright, enjoy.
Whenever MZ taught me to clean my dishes, so I'm wiping.
I'm glad he taught you that.
If Gordon Ramsay told me to jump off a bridge, I'll do it.
Our dessert platter is ready to be served, and like always, I had my soup chef, aka my sibling, try it all for me. Enjoy our commentary and tasting as always.
Bone apple teeth. What do I do? Eat it. How? However you want. Oh, I need a fork. You grab a fork. You're the butler here. Oh. Shortbread cookies, German black forest cake with chocolate ganache, and that's the... I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it jam or jelly? It's described more as a pudding, like a berry pudding. I don't know how I feel about pudding. But it tasted good when I tasted it. Wait, I should try that last. Okay, try the berry thing. Oh, I already licked my fork. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. I'm scared. Why? Look. You got some whipped cream with it. Oh! Yeah, you're supposed to eat it together. Oh, do you like it? I think I do. Because I like it. Well, I was scared of the texture difference. First bite, but... So why is there a white mark on this? Because I didn't have a mint leaf on it. There's a picture for reference. Where's the orange? I forgot to get an orange. Are those pomegranate seeds? They're most likely cranberries. Where are they? I don't have cranberries. I just bought a freaking frozen berry mix. Where's the blueberry in this thing? What blueberry? It's in here somewhere, but it was buried under the jam. There are blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. And there's a fourth berry. I forgot which berry. Raspberry. No, berry. But I liked it. This is the kind of tarty I like. Where it's actually sweet and tarty. Well, I added sugar. Yeah, good. And this has sugar. Good. You see, when people add like this jelly thing to cake, I want to hear like this. Like on the side? Yeah. I agree. But not actually jelly. I like this better. Yeah. I was scared because I don't really use cornstarch. And that's what you use to thicken it. No, I just cooked them with the juice and the other stuff. Juice. I used juice. Oh yeah. And probably what helped make it sweeter was that juice too. Because that juice has sugar. If you were a German child, would you approve? I feel privileged right now, which is a first in my life. Well, that German child was kind of privileged. Well, I tried the cookies yesterday. Mm-hmm. They were alright. I think I'm just not a cookie person. Oop. I'm very happy with my berry thing because I like berries. Yeah. I'll make it again. So why is this dog here? Because I didn't know what to put. It looked boring and I didn't have mint leaves to garnish. I should just put a strawberry on there. I should have put a strawberry. Don't question me.
And there we have it. I tried being Sebastian and tried to recreate his dessert dish. It is hardly accurate, but I put a lot of effort into it, so I am pretty happy with it. Mint leaves to me are unnecessary for something I was going to eat immediately, so I made do with what I had and what I could gather. Unfortunately, I did forget that lone orange slice, but oh well, it tasted great. Rote Grütze is not a difficult dessert to make, so if you're randomly struck with the idea to recreate a dish of some sort, go for it. I learned something simple to make to impress my parents and make them believe I'm doing something useful with my time. You never know what you're going to learn from silly ideas, I guess. Anyway, that is all from me today. I greatly appreciate you watching my silly baking adventures once more. If you have any questions or suggestions as to what I should make next, please comment below. Like always, I'll be struck with some sort of idea soon, so please like and subscribe as well to see what I make next. Here is a quick look at my other social media accounts you can follow. Do what you want. Every little thing is greatly appreciated by me. Anyway, until next time, bye-bye! As you can tell from my channel, I like baking things and I try to use anime in some way to inspire me to bake some more and learn new dishes. So if you like that kind of content, I know my desserts don't turn out the prettiest, but if you enjoy that type of content, I do appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm not gonna stop anytime soon anyway. I don't know why, I just enjoy this a lot, and it's made me really happy just making these desserts. Well, maybe not my doctor, but we don't need to tell my doctor about how many desserts I'm making.